They thought war would silence us. But from broken walls and wounded hearts, the children rose. This is not the end, it is the beginning. Children of war, children of hope. The sun is rising. Children chase tires through red dust. Smoke curls from cooking fires. Birds call from the forest. Obinna, mid-20s, wiry, alert, walks back from a hunt. A dead antelope over his shoulder. He pauses. Looks up. Whop 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 whop. The sound slices the sky. A military helicopter descends, its blades flattening cassava leaves, sending people scattering. Villagers scream. Children fall. Goats bolt. Palm fronds fly. The helicopter lands in the village square. Dust settles. Silence follows. Out steps a foreign scientist in a white vest holding a digital map tablet. Two black-suited soldiers with rifles. A smiling Nigerian official in glasses. The village chief, old and hesitant, steps forward. Behind him, elders watch in uneasy silence. The scientist speaks in English. The official translates in Igbo. They are here to help. New farming technology. Development. Just some land for testing. He hands the chief a contract. Obinna watches. Eyes narrow. The chief signs. Cut to the map on the tablet. It glows red. Villages are marked with excess. Amaze is one of them. Later that night, EXT, near the stream, Obinna's POV. Obinna walks with his younger brother, Kin, 14, curious and energetic. They find something strange. A glowing metal device buried near the water. Beeping. Humming. Kin reaches to touch it. Obinna pulls him back fast. Obinna, low voice. Don't touch that. That's not for us. He kicks dust over it. Cut to black. The forest edge has been cleared. Huge trees cut overnight. The air smells strange, like heat and oil. Women scream. The stream has turned black. Goats foam at the mouth. The cassava leaves are wilting overnight. People gather, shouting. The elders look helpless. Obinna stares at the sky and says softly, "They didn't come to help. They came to begin something." The village is tense. No laughter. No drums. Children are kept inside. Men sharpen cutlasses. The elders whisper but say nothing. Obinna stands near the collapsed stream bed, watching oil-like bubbles rise from the surface. Then, a deep humming. Not from the sky. From beneath the ground. The earth vibrates, soft, like breathing. A lone survivor arrives at Amaze. Covered in dust. Shirt torn. Eyes wide. He stumbles, bleeding. Survivor, gasping. Udinia is gone. Everyone surrounds him. Obinna steps forward. Obinna. Gone how? Survivor. It sank. The land opened. And the sky burned. He collapses. Dead. Obinna and two others climb the high hill, armed with a flashlight and cutlass. From the top, they see smoke in the distance. Orange haze. Flickering flames. No buildings left standing. Then, a sudden flash in the clouds. Boom. A massive drone breaks through the smoke and flies overhead, silent, smooth, and terrifying. Obinna crouches. Obinna, whispering. This is not farming. This is erasing. The elders argue. Elder 1. We must call the government. Elder 2. They are the government. Obinna burst in. Obinna. Udinia is gone. And we're next. He throws the rusted metal device on the floor, it's still blinking red. Silence. The air is too quiet. A baby cries. A dog barks, then suddenly stops. Then comes the sound. Where mom? A black drone breaks through the clouds, larger than the one before. The entire village freezes. Obinna grips his cutlass. The chief holds a staff with shaking hands. Fade out. The day began with ash on the rooftops. No fire. No wind. Just ash, soft, grey, falling from a sky that no longer felt like home. In Amaze, the villagers no longer spoke in full sentences. They nodded, pointed, waited. Every sound felt too loud. Even silence carried weight. Obinna had not slept. At dawn, he stood by the collapsed stream with a cutlass in his hand, watching as the once clear water bubbled thick and black. The ground hissed. The trees at the forest edge were changing color, not brown from dryness, but pale, like something had sucked the life from their roots. Then came the scream. A woman ran into the square, her wrapper torn, eyes wild. Her son had gone to trap bush meat and hadn't returned. Obinna followed her cries into the thickets, heart pounding. They found the boy's sandals. And not far from them, a boot print, not from a villager, but from a black boot. Heavy. Foreign. Fresh. That was all it took. By nightfall, the young men had gathered. Not just from Amaze, but from Udinia's remains, and even a few from the bush camps where the displaced had fled. No one wore uniforms. They wore anger. They carried cutlasses, hoes, metal pipes, whatever their hands could hold. They moved silently through the bush path toward the clearing where the machines had been planted. Past the wilted cocoa trees. Past the humming drone that never landed. And when they reached the site, they found them, foreign contractors, gathered by masked soldiers, laughing by the fire and drinking sachet water poured from their own ice boxes. Obinna didn't wait. He charged first, with a scream that tore the night apart. The others followed. Chaos. One soldier fell before he could reach for his weapon. A second was dragged into the cassava. Gunfire rang out, but the rebels didn't stop. They knew the land. They vanished and struck again from behind. Fires broke out. One of the metal towers caught flame and collapsed, sending sparks into the sky like fireworks. By the time the drone came down, spinning and crashing, the forest glowed with orange rage. They didn't win. Not fully. But by morning, the machines were gone. The soldiers had pulled out. And the map, the one marked with red excess, was found half-burnt, stomped into the mud, with one village name missing. Amaze. For the first time in weeks, the village of Amaze awoke to silence that wasn't deadly. No smoke. No thunder in the ground. No drones buzzing overhead. Just quiet, broken only by crackling fires in the bush, where the men sat bruised and bloodied, tending their wounds. A few bodies lay wrapped in palm fronds. The names were whispered, then buried. There was no time for mourning. But as the sun rose, something else surfaced, questions. Why didn't the soldiers return fire immediately? How did they know to flee so quickly? Why did the second camp appear abandoned before the rebels arrived? Obinna didn't want to believe it. But the signs were there. That afternoon, the truth arrived. A village boy, no more than 13, found a satellite phone half buried behind the community hut. It was still active. Still warm. The messages inside weren't encrypted. They were clear. Amaze civilians are agitated. Locals planning disruption. Will trigger violence. Request relocation of test ops. The sender. Uncle is a respected elder. A man who once donated roofing sheets to the church. Who always sat beside the chief at meetings? Who smiled too much? That night, the rebels stormed his compound. They found him packing. His bags filled with documents, foreign cash, sealed water bottles. He didn't run. He stood tall, even as they dragged him into the square. "I did what was necessary," he said. "I warned them because I knew you fools would attack. I tried to save what little we had." Obinna stepped forward. "You sold the land." He shrugged. "The land was already sold. I just made sure we wouldn't die poor." The silence was heavy. A decision had to be made. But before the crowd could choose between justice or rage, the sky answered for them. A deep rumble, low and steady. Then came the sound again. Whop 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 whop. Helicopters. Not one this time. 3. Each bearing the same flag. Obinna looked around. The village was exposed. Their traps were gone. Their weapons. Barely enough to hold off foot soldiers. They had made their move. Now retribution had come. The helicopters circled like vultures. Their shadows swept across the rooftops of Amaze as if measuring what was left to take. The villagers had no illusions now. This wasn't farming support. This wasn't development. It was removal. A voice boomed through loudspeakers. "This area is under clearance.
All civilians must evacuate immediately."
This is not a negotiation. But there was nowhere to run. The nearest bush camps had been burned 2 days ago. The stream was poison. The food was gone. So they stayed. Obinna stood in the village square, wrapped in a torn cloth, gripping the rusted cutlass from his father's shed. Behind him, women with cooking sticks. Children holding stones. Men who had never held a gun holding rifles that barely worked. And in front of them, war in the sky. Then it began. The first bomb fell on the cassava field. The explosion shook the trees from their roots. The second struck the old shrine, sending dust and ash swirling like spirits leaving the land. But Amaze did not scatter. They fought back. They threw fire. They screamed. They struck metal with rage, not hope. A drone came low enough to touch the ground. A teenager leapt onto it and stabbed its camera blind. Even when bullets tore skin, no one ran. Obinna was hit in the leg. He dragged himself under the elder's hut and watched the sky shimmer with heat and smoke. But his eyes stayed fixed on one thing, the school wall, still standing, with the words, "We will remain," scratched faintly in charcoal. And somehow, they did. By dusk, the sky cleared. The helicopters left. Why? No one knew. Maybe it was orders. Maybe they believed Amaze had nothing left to destroy. But in the silence that followed, something else rose. A girl, no more than 12, picked up a broken drone wing and held it up like a flag. Obinna smiled, bloodied and broken. "We were not meant to win," he whispered. "We were meant to be remembered."